Hello friends, this is Dr. Bhavika here. Currently I am doing ophthalmology from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, that is AIIMS in New Delhi. Friends, this is again the continuation video. So in this video I will be discussing with you the examination of the patient of squint. So to understand this video better, as I have already told you in previous video also, you should watch my first two videos so that you can understand the basic concept of the squint, that is for basic action of the muscles and the basic adaptations of the squint and the classification of the squint. So now in this video I will be discussing the examination of a case of squint. So starting when the patient comes to you in the OPD, a patient comes with various signs and symptoms. So you have to understand that firstly the patient may complain of eye strain, associated redness, heaviness, pain in and around the eyes, headache, diplopia, that is double vision, deviation of the eyes. If the deviation is very large, it is evident without any test, and past pointing and head posture. Past pointing, friends, I will be discussing this feature past pointing in my subsequent videos, so you can see there. And head posture also. Head posture, patient mainly assume this posture so that the patient may experience minimum diplopia or minimum discomfort, and patient may have minimum discomfort. Fine. Now examination of a case of heterophoria, like that is for the latent squint, that is squint is not manifesting, so we will perform some tests by which we will see that squint will manifest. So what are the those tests by which we can differentiate ki this patient is having a latent squint or this patient is having a manifest squint? So first of all, whenever the patient comes to your OPD or whenever you examine the patient, just test the vision and the refractive error. All the patients of squint their refractive error has to be checked and their proper prescription has to be given irrespective of the type of squint or the duration of the squint. So for the testing of the vision in adults, as I've already told you, or you may be knowing that for adults we mainly use Snellen's chart, and for children who are not able to read, we can use Teller's acuity chart, and there are many more. So at your level, you just need to understand this thing, okay, we need to test the vision as the patient come to your OPD. And the refractive error, for this we have to perform a proper refraction. For proper refraction in the cases of squint, we have to do the refraction under a cycloplegic. For the children below than 6 years of age, we can do it under atropine, and for rest of the cases we can do under homatropine. Why we are doing under atropine for the children less than 6 years? Because they have a very strong accommodative this thing potential. So to relax their accommodation, we have to use a strong cycloplegic, and atropine is a very strong cycloplegic. So that's why we are using atropine in children less than 6 years. Now coming on to the cover or uncover test. So there are some prerequisites for performing this cover uncover test. The first one is the patient should be able to fixate the target. For example, if the deviation is very large and the squint is long standing, the patient is amblyopic, patient is not able to fixate, then we cannot perform this cover uncover test in those patients. So for this, the deviation should not be that large, and the patient should be able to fixate on the target for the near as well as distance target. Right. Now I will be telling you also how to perform this test. Now what is the meaning of cover and cover uncover test? So when observations are made during covering of one eye, then it is known as cover test, and when the observations are made during uncovering, then it is known as cover uncover test. Fine. For the cover test, the patient should be given proper fixation targets to control the accommodation. Like this, you can see for near, this diagram is showing for the near. Near, we will usually perform this at 33 centimeter. So here, this target is kept at around this distance is around 33 centimeter. So we are covering one eye, that is cover test, and we are giving a target to the patient to fix it. For the distance, here you can see the patient is the examiner is performing cover uncover test for distance. This patient is sitting on the chair and one eye is covered like this, and the patient is focusing on a distant object, maybe a Snellen's chart. Fine. So Snellen's chart at 6 meters. So what we are exactly doing in this? Patient has been given a proper fixation target, and then the patient's fixing eye is covered with the occluder. Like the patient in for example in this diagram, the patient is fixing with the right eye, and so we covered the right eye of the patient. So now we have to observe what is happening to the deviating eye, like what is happening to the left eye. For this, it will move to take the fixation. Why it will move to take the fixation, I'll tell you. For example, both the eyes have some visual angle, not visual angle, have some axis on which the both eye moves. That angle will remain constant in every case. For example, eyes are like this normally, so there is some angle between them on which they are working. For example, this is the right eye, this is the left eye, so there is some visual this is a visual axis of both the eyes, so they are working at some angle. For example, if the deviation occurs, for example, this axis now changes like this. If this axis changes like this, so in every direction this angle will remain same, whether the patient looks to this side or whether the patient looks to this side. So if the patient is looking towards this side, this line of viewing will change like this, and this also will change like this. This will come here and this will come here, but the angle between these two and these two angle and these two angle will remain constant at every gaze. Fine. So when the patient is fixing with patient fixing eye is covered with the occluder, now what happens is this eye will deviate, because as this eye was for example, if right eye was fixing, fine, and left eye was somewhere here, so what we have done is we have covered this fixing eye, we have covered this eye, fine. Now the stimulus to this eye is lost. Now what the eye will do is, if stimulus is lost, this will move towards this side, and this eye will come towards this side to take the fixation, in order that the angle the axis between them, the angle between them remain constant. So what is it? Observe what happened to the deviating eye. Like this deviating eye, this will move like this, so it will move to take the fixation. That, so if it is moving to take the fixation, that confirms the squint. Fine. This is the cover test. So the direction of the movement will tell you about the type of squint. Okay. Now the cover uncover test. It is helpful in unmasking the latent squint. Latent squint is what? It is not evident when we first see the patient on inspection. So to unmask it, we will use the cover uncover test. In this, we will observe the patient while uncovering this occluder. When we will be uncovering this occluder, when we will remove this occluder, then we will observe the deviation of this eye. So in this, the both eyes are appear to fixate, so any of the eye is covered, like I have already told you. So the fusion is broken. So the idea is to broke the fusion, so that the eye is not able to fixate. So when the fusion will be broken, the latent squint will manifest. So the eye behind the cover will deviate. Yes, obviously the eye behind the cover will deviate, because there is no binocularity. In this, you can cover the either eye, because in latent squint, if you because we are not knowing that pathology is in which eye, so you can cover the either eye. Fine. So in this, the examiner will observe the behavior of the covered eye as he removes the cover. So what is exactly happening is, this is the right eye and this is the left eye. For example, we have covered this eye. Fine. First of all, it was a latent squint. Both the eyes were in the center. They are maintaining the fixation properly. So what has happened is, we have broken the binocularity, we have broken the fusion as we have covered this eye. Now what will happen is, this eye will deviate either to this direction or to this direction. Fine. Now what will happen is, if when we remove this cover like that, after we have removed this cover, this eye will come again in the center to take the fixation. If it has moved toward this side under the cover, it will move towards this side after removing the cover, or if it has moved towards this side on covering, then it will move towards this eye as soon as we will remove the cover. So in this we will observe the behavior of the covered eye as soon as we remove the cover. If it is deviated, like I have already told you, if it has deviated, it confirms a latent squint. Fine. So next is the prism cover test. It is the cover. It is like cover uncover test only, but in this we will also add the neutralizing prisms to neutralize the deviation. To neutralize the deviation by the prisms. So what is exactly happening? So these are the prisms which are used in squint workup. So here you can see there are various prisms like this. They are all prisms. So they have various numbers added on this. So this is the, like this is 5 prism, this is 6 prism, this is 8 prism. If when the deviation will be more, then more prism number will be needed to neutralize that deviation. Fine. So here you can see in this diagram also, we have covered one eye, that is we are doing cover uncover test, cover test, and here this eye has deviated. Like in this diagram you can see this eye is deviated. So we have placed prism in front of the eye, and now the eye is in the center. So you have to now understand what is the number of this prism by which the deviation is neutralized. So by knowing the number of the prism, or by knowing how much is the deviation, we can accordingly plan for the surgery. Now the one thing is how to place these prisms. If prism is having a base and apex like this, so the apex should be towards the deviation. So for example, if there is like this, for example, if there is esotropia, this is the right eye, this is the esotropia. So we will place prism in front of this eye like this. Apex towards the deviation. Apex towards the deviation. Fine friends. Now exactly opposite for the exotropia. Exactly opposite for the exotropias. Now here you can see how we are neutralizing the deviations. Now the second one, then the next one is Maddox rod test. The second one is Maddox rod test. So here in this we will be using Maddox tangent scale. Maddox tangent scale is a wooden cross which has a central fixation bulb and marking on the horizontal and the vertical limbs like this. Horizontal and the vertical limbs. So in the basic principle of this test is to break the fusion. This I have already told you because these tests are used for the heterophoria. So the basic aim of this test is to break the fusion. So the principle of this test is to break the fusion by showing dissimilar objects to both the eyes. So what we are exactly doing in this, we will take a Maddox rod. It is a red color disc with parallel grooves like this. This is a Maddox rod. It has a with parallel grooves. It is a red color disc. So it will convert a point of light viewed through it into a line which is perpendicular to its axis like this. For example, if we have placed the Maddox rod, this is a Maddox rod, in front of the eye like this. So the patient will perceive light like this perpendicular to it, and if we have placed Maddox rod like this in front of the eye, the person will perceive light like this. Fine. The axis of the rod. Now how should we place this Maddox rod, like this or like this? It will be decided by the axis of the deviation. For example, if there is horizontal deviation, then we will place the Maddox rod like this, and if there is a vertical deviation, then we will place the rod like this. So the Maddox rod will be placed only in front of one eye. So eye with the Maddox rod sees a line like this, I have already told you, and the other eye will see the spotlight and the scale. Fine. Now this is the Maddox rod test. So the Maddox rod is placed in front of the left eye. Now if there is a orthophoria, then the both image will be formed at one point. So image will be formed like this. But if there is esophoria, esophoria means what